Jets Ward.
ETS Jets. What is going on, Jet fans? And welcome back to another episode of the Jets Ward. I'm your host, Ryan Ward. And man, that was a good old-fashioned ass whooping the Bills put on the New York Jets today. Man, not a fun one to watch if you were a Jets fan. But before we get into the video recap, we are going to be welcome. If you have been here before, welcome. Whether you are a Jets fan or a fan of another team or just a casual NFL fan, you are always welcome here. If you are new here, welcome. I'm always happy to have you guys here. Just like I said, if you're a Jets fan of another team, or just a casual NFL fan, you are always welcome here. But man, the New York Jets played today against the Buffalo Bills in MetLife. And Jets fans, the team fooled us last week. Gave us a lot of hope. The offense was moving last week against Pittsburgh Steelers. Justin Fields looked awesome. The old offense looked great. The defense, bad. But it gave us hope. And we were talking all week about moral victories. The Jets gave us a moral victory on the previous week in week one. And we're going into this week. Practice is going good. AG said that we've been having great practices. And guess what we got today? A complete fucking goose egg on that field today. The Jets looked outcoached, unprepared, and just looked awful. The defensive scheme was bad. The offensive scheme was bad. Special teams was We looked like Tony Romo made a great point today that it looked like the Bills as Alabama versus Central Tennessee or something like that. The Jets had no business being on that field with the Buffalo Bills today. They dominated from beginning of the first kickoff, all the way to the end. The Jets AG was outcoached by Sean McDermott, and that Bills team dominated the New York Jets. And I'm going to get into a recap of the stats, the box scores, and stuff like that, just to let you guys. And then I'm going to talk to you guys about what I saw, really, and basically like what a lot of us saw today. But first, getting into it, we have the box score. The Jets, we had a total of 273 offensive yards today, completely shut down. Last week, we had over 400. Today, 273. Justin Fields went 3 for 11, had a QBR of 1.1, and a quarterback rating of 39.6. Awful numbers. He had his best game of the week last week to one of his worst in his career. He just looked uncomfortable, was missing wide open throws, was just very uncomfortable today. And the Bills defense, kudos to them. They were awful against the Ravens last week and tightened it up and just shut down the New York Jets today. He had 27 yards passing, his average of 2.5 yards, 0 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Ran the ball 5 times for 49 yards, had one really nice run before the end of the first half, and just nothing else. Couldn't get anything out from him. Tyrod Taylor came in because Justin Fields later in the game was injured. Fears are a concussion, which Rich Cimini came out and said that he does have a concussion. So depending on how he feels by the end of next week, by game time next week, Tyrod Taylor might be starting. But Tyrod Taylor came in. He went 7 for 11 for a QBR of 93.5, 106.6 rating, 56 yards, 5.1 average, 1 passing touchdown to Jeremy Ruckert, and had 3 carries for 21 yards. What are you going to take from it? All right, Tyrod Taylor's a wily veteran. He's been in this league for a long time. He's not going to panic under pressure. But the Bills were already handling the New York Jets all week or all game. And it was garbage time. So, all right, a garbage time touchdown. Jeremy Ruckert, congrats on his first career touchdown with the New York Jets. But the offense looked outmatched. That defense, who was down their best defensive player in Ed Oliver, didn't even worry about it. We were completely outclassed today and outcoached. The offense, Tanner Engstrand, looked lost. I thought we were watching back in the Robert Saleh years and with our offensive coordinator last year. I forget what his name is. I'm trying to forget him. But Nathaniel Hackett, that's it. It reminded me of last year because the offense looked inept. We were going against a defense that you can have. They weren't very good, and you just looked pathetic out there. Tanner Engstrand, who called a great game last week, a lot of Jets fans were getting on him, just being like all hyped about it, thinking we actually have an offensive coordinator. He looked awful today with his play designs. It looked really bad, and just like we saw last year. Like I said, it reminded me of the Robert Saleh eras, where our offense was bad, the team just getting blown out, and it was a long day for the offense, and it looked really bad. I feel for Justin Fields. I hope that he comes back quickly. Concussions can be very problematic for quarterbacks. Just ask Miami with Tua Tagovailoa. But overall, he looked awful today when he wasn't. And Tyrod Taylor, cool for him to come in and get the touchdown on the board. But again, there was nothing really to see. You talk about moral victories last week. I hate moral victories because it doesn't show anything. The Jets still lost, and now they're 0-2 on the season and getting a really tough opponent next week in the Buccaneers. So offense looked bad today. Fields looked awful. Tyrod Taylor looked awful. Going into the next part, our rushing game didn't have much either. Breece Hall gave us a lot last week. This week he had 10 carries for 29 yards. Braylon Allen only had 2 carries for 11 yards. Not utilizing Braylon Allen is very worrisome because he is a power back, and he looked great in training camp and offseason, and now they're just not using him. So that's very concerning as well. I don't know what's going on with him, if he's injured or something, but it's very problematic. I think they need to get both of these guys going because we just went away from the running game. It wasn't working today. Continuing on in the pass game, we talk about leading and receiving. We had Garrett Wilson. He was 4 for 8 for 50 yards. Breece Hall was 2 for 3 for 9 yards. And Arian Smith had a nice catch today for 8 yards. He had 2 targets. He also had a handoff, a wide receiver round, and that got blown up for negative 10 yards. So that was great. Overall, offensively, the Jets just looked inept. And this goes to show like the talent they have. Garrett Wilson, I say, is a stud. He had a fumble today, but we didn't lose it. Justin Fields had 2 fumbles today. The second drive of the game, he fumbled and gave the Bills perfect yardage on our side of the field. So it just looked bad. And the Jets don't have anybody else. Josh Reynolds was hurt today. Alan Lazard didn't get anything. He looked bad, like usual, like we know him to be. Arian Smith, all right, he had 1 nice catch, 2 targets. Tyler Johnson was nowhere to be found. Mason Taylor looked bad too, blocking and receiving. Overall, it was just an awful day for this offense. And the big worry is, like, if the offense doesn't get going, we were talking all offseason that the Jets should have went after another wide receiver to open up this offense a little bit. Bring in a veteran tight end. Jelani Woods, who we signed from the Colts, was inactive again. He could be somebody that you could utilize if healthy. You got Stone Smart. You don't even see Stone Smart out there. You got Jeremy Rucker. He had a touchdown pass today, but he was bad today at blocking as well. This whole offense was shit today. And it didn't seem like it was going to get any better. Like I said, last week was great. They showed us something, but this week they showed us nothing against an even worse defense, in my opinion. I think the Steelers had a much better defense than the Buffalo Bills, and the Jets couldn't get anything going. They were just outclassed, outcoached, and that's the biggest thing. We preach about coaching. Robert Saleh was not a good head coach. The coaching staff we had was a disaster. Like I said, this reminded me of those years. Just coming into a game unprepared. The team quit. The team freaking quit. And that's awful. Like, what are we doing here? This is, oh my God. It was just an ugly, ugly watch. And you're going to say it's week 2. I get it's freaking week 2. But you're already 0-2. The beginning of your schedule is not good. You have the Buccaneers coming up. You have the Broncos just around the horizon, who won today as well, who are 2-0, who have a fantastic defense. You have to play the Bills again later. You play the Patriots, who didn't look bad against the Dolphins today, who had things moving and grooving for them. You have all these freaking teams that you're going to be playing, and the Jets' schedule is not easy in the beginning. We play the Bengals too. We have the Ravens coming up. We have the Browns coming up, whose defense is good. I get The offense might not be the best, but the defense is at least good. If you continue to play like this, which AG, you can say all the great things you want during the press conference, like, oh, I'll go watch the tape. I'll go watch the tape. All right, good for you. Go watch the tape. You're going to see what we see and what we've been asked, Jets fans have been saying, getting more weapons in there to help Justin Fields. Your offensive line is solid, but you didn't give anything to the Justin Fields in the running game today. The offensive scheme today was a disaster, and there were no adjustments at halftime. You come out flat in the beginning of the game, and you come out flat in the second half of the game too. There was no second half adjustments at all. The Bills had their way with us from the first whistle to the last, and it was a disaster. You got blown out on your home field. You are 0-2 at home. Teams are supposed to be the most confident and the best when they are at home in their own stadium. And the Jets at MetLife, it's getting to be the point where we don't have home field advantage. There were a ton of Bills fans there today, a ton of Steelers fans today, or last week as well. The home field advantage at MetLife for the New York Jets is fading. There is none. You're 0-2 at home right now. And the offense looked freaking awful, a disaster. And now you have the Bucs coming in, which we're going to see them tomorrow night. How are we going to do against that? That offense with Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka, Godwin, who's supposed to be coming back, Bucky Irving as a running back. They're going to tear you apart if this is the team that we see showing up, that comes out and looks like they don't even fucking want to be there. Because they quit. They flat out quit today. And I never thought I would say that with AG as the head coach because he's a former player. He's got these guys at detail. And you know what? It wasn't there. And the freaking penalties, which I'm going to get to when we get to the defense, because defense and the penalties in the first half were mind-boggling. Again, like the Robert Saleh years, Michael Clemens should be cut too. We cut Xavier Gibson. Michael Clemens should be gone because of the stupid rough in the passer. It's 3rd and 19 or 3rd and long, and you hit Josh Allen. You know they're going to be watching him. You know the Jets don't get calls like that because Justin Fields slid and got pummeled in the beginning half, and they didn't call it. But Josh Allen, you look at him the wrong way, and you throw a penalty for 15 yards, unnecessary roughness. But this one was clear. You go up, he throws the ball, and you clobber him. And it's a first down. Bills score. Like, what are we doing? It's disaster. It's so bad. And this is just our offense. I was going to wait till the rant till the end, but we get to the special teams. Let's talk about one thing. Nick Folk looked good. He had one field goal for 51 yards. That's a positive. He looked good today. He got us on the board in the beginning of the game. He was 1 for 1 with extra points. He had 4 total points. McNamara had 7 punts total today. 3 of them inside the 20. A couple of touchbacks as well, long of 55. Punted for a total of 340 yards today. Last week, we didn't punt till the second half. This time, it just seemed like he was on the field all the time. Getting into the defense, the Jets gave up a total of 403 yards today. The rushing game, which I thought the run defense was better last week. This week, we gave up a total of 224 rushing yards. Cook had 21 carries, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. The tackling was abysmal today. Davis had 9 carries, 24 yards. Josh Allen got his own with running the ball too. But Josh Allen didn't even do great passing the ball today. He was 14 for 25, 148 yards, 0 touchdowns, a 73.4 rating. When you hold him to that much, you should be in this game. You should. But again, the penalties. And it was always on 3rd down, too. You can always bank on Michael Clemens making a stupid penalty on 3rd down, a stupid pass interference call or holding call. Michael Carter II looked awful today. On one play, he fell down and gave Elijah Moore a freaking beautiful catch for multiple yards for a first down. He looked bad. Andre Sisco got injured. He was out for most of the time. Jermaine Johnson got hurt, his ankle. He was out for the rest of the game. Tony Adams hurt himself dealing with a groin. He was out. So not only did we deal with the injuries, but we dealt with stupid penalties too, giving the Bills chance after chance after chance. We shot ourselves in the first half and could not rebound because penalties killed us in the first half. The team just quit coming out. Dalton Kincaid had a decent day. 34 for 6, 37 yards. Josh Palmer, 2 for 3, 47 yards. Josh Allen, like I said, 14 for 25, 148 yards. 0 touchdowns. But beat you with his legs, beat you with his smarts. The Bills played the Jets like a fiddle today. And what are you going to do? You want to be the best team in your division. And this was going to do it. If the Jets won today, we would be tied for first place in the division. We'd be up having a division win against a team who is, they're playoff bound. They're a Super Bowl contending team. And they showed it today. The Jets have a long way to go because today was just a debacle after debacle after debacle. Nothing went right. Penalties killed us. Coaching killed us. Offense, awful. Defense, terrible. There was no moral victory today that you could tell me about. Nothing. Oh, Nick Folk had a 51-yard field goal. Whoop-de-fucking-do. This team looked awful today. And it's got to get better. You cannot tell me this is the Jets team that we were all excited about when we got AG, that things were going to clean up, penalties were going to go down, everything. The offense is going to look good. Yeah, we might not have a number 2 wide receiver, but we have a solid running game. We're going to be able to run the ball. This offensive line, we're going to be able to run the ball. You had a better team last week that had better defense than the Buffalo Bills, and you were able to run all over them. Granted, we didn't win, but then you get a Buffalo Bills team that's coming off giving the Ravens, and I understand it's the Ravens. I get it. It's the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. But that offensive line is not better than the New York Jets. That offense is better. I get it. But the run game, the Jets should have just been able to pound the ball. Their run defense was garbage last week. And they were missing their best defensive player in Ed Oliver out there. And yet, the Jets came in soft today. There was no aggressiveness. There was no sense of urgency. There was no consistency. You got to go into next week. You got it. I don't give a shit if it's a good practice week, bad practice week. You got to come prepared because this team was unprepared today. And you can call it a very important game. The Jets needed this one. I get it's week 2. But if you want to make a statement that you're here, that this is a team that belongs, you got to put up better numbers than that against the Buffalo Bills. You got to. And if you're banking on the Jets being like the Detroit Lions of years ago when Dan Campbell took over and didn't have the best season with them in the first half or the first year, I get it. But at least they were competitive. They looked fine. They might not have won a lot of games, but they were competitive in every single one, if my memory serves me right. There was an urgency. You came out of those weeks happy. AG said a couple of weeks ago that what he wanted in this team was a team that Jets fans were proud of. Well, no Jet fan is proud of what they saw today. There's going to be people who are going to probably be calling for AG's number to get him fired. There always is. Even if it's just his rookie season as a head coach, there are going to be people who are calling for his name, his head on a block. Muji. Big things that we've said, Muji and AG on this one. Moves that needed to be made that fans were calling for. Cutting Xavier Gipson. Well, you got that one right, but it was a little too late because it shouldn't have been on the 53-man roster. Michael Clemens was another one. And again, the players that even Jets fans can freaking see that shouldn't be here. This is why. Because of stupid penalties, stupid mistakes that we make. The Bills, I get. They're a Super Bowl contending team. Josh Allen is MVP. He's one of the best 3 quarterbacks in the league. But if you want to be somebody who can give your fans happiness, can give your fans hope, you got to be better prepared than that. That was just, it was the same old Jets. It was. So for fans who are going to be saying that it was the same old Jets, yeah, you're right this week. And I'm normally the positive one on here, being very happy with the Jets, being like, it's not the same old Jets. For fans who were saying it last week, I was on Danger Zone, shout out to them, as a co-host this past week, and I was talking about that. Dano asked me the question for those fans that were calling it. It wasn't because the offense looked much better. For those fans, you were right. If you call them it this week, you're right. That was the same old Jets. No urgency. They weren't prepared. In a division game where it's you're at home. Jets normally play the Bills tough at home. Yeah, we've had our losses. But we've also picked up some big, big wins. That game reminded me like if we were in Buffalo and playing them like last year, where we got demolished by them at home. That's 2 games in a row that the Bills have owned us. In a row. From last year in Buffalo till now. Yet there needs to be massive changes. There has to be. Because nobody on this team looked good today. There's not one player that you could say you're confident with. You want to say Quinnen Williams? Cool. He didn't look fantastic today. Harrison Phillips, who was supposed to be this big guy that we got in a trade, didn't look great today. Juwan Briggs had a sack. Cool. Didn't really help. There's nothing you can take from this game that you can watch on film and be like, oh, that's where we could do something better here. Everything was a disaster. These coaches got to figure something out, because if this is what we're in for, I'm telling you, the Jets could be one of the worst teams in football this year. If we get that team that we saw today every week going forward, if that's what we get, inconsistent, penalty-ridden, it's going to be a long year. It is. It really is. And as somebody who thinks that this Jets team, with what we have now, going into this game beforehand, that could have been an 8 to 9 win team, you give me that team every week that just showed up today that quit, you're going to be lucky if you win one. You are. The only team you could argue that's worse right now is the Carolina Panthers, who currently is getting demolished by the Arizona Cardinals. Giants even looked good today against the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, they lost in overtime on a field goal, a nice kick by Aubrey. But what are you going to do? I'm pissed. This was awful today. I had a feeling the Jets were going to lose, but I thought it was going to be a much more competitive game than this. I really did. This was just a massive gut punch. And these coaches have to look themselves in the mirror and be like, fix things. They got to go back to the drawing board and figure it out, because the Buccaneers are going to be coming in next week ready to throw the ball on you. Emeka Egbuka looks like he can be offensive rookie of the year. Baker Mayfield is Baker Mayfield. Mike Evans is a fantastic wide receiver still at his age. If Godwin comes back and gives you anything, it's going to be a long week. McCollum, too, for the Buccaneers, is a great wide receiver for. Bucky Irving is somebody you got to watch out. They have offensive weapons, and their defense isn't half bad either, especially if they get Vita Vea back. That defense can cause some problems. I don't know what to say. It was just an unmitigated disaster today for the New York Jets. If that's the team we're going to be given this year, it's going to be a very long year, and you can bank on the Jets drafting a quarterback with the number 1 pick overall or in the top 5. Because if we get that Fields, one that Bears fans saw and were happy to get rid of for Caleb Williams, who doesn't look any much better, this is Fields' last chance. He's got to do something. And if he's concussed, I wish him the best. So I hope he comes back quick. But if that's what we get from you after a great week last week, if that's what we get from you coming in for the other games and big games like that against teams that you need to be able to stand up to, it's going to be a long year. And the Jets will be a top 5 team, pick and team. I understand a lot of fans are looking at these prospects already. Matzer from Oklahoma. There's Drew Allar from Penn State. Nussmeier from LSU. Sellers. There's some quarterbacks in this league, in this draft coming up that are going to be pretty good, very good. We were saying that Justin Fields could have been our answer last week. This week, as somebody who's a big Justin Fields fan, I don't even know. That's all I got, guys. Make sure, if you like the video, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button as well. It really helps me out. Make sure you hit that bell for any updates as well. And again, thank you so much for joining me in the JETS Jets Ward. Thank you, guys. And I'll see you next week. Bye.